Before you step into this day, before you pick up your phone or make your first cup of coffee or think about everything waiting for you, stop for just a moment and invite someone into this day with you. Not a plan, not a strategy, a person. The God who created this day before you woke up in it, who already knows everything it holds, and who is waiting to walk through every hour of it with you, if you will simply ask Him to. That is what this prayer is about. Not asking God to fix everything, asking Him to come with you into everything. Say this prayer with me right now. Heavenly Father, I invite you into this day. All of it. Not just the quiet morning moment before it gets loud, but the whole thing. The meetings and the traffic, and the difficult people, and the unexpected problems, and the moments where I feel completely unprepared for what is in front of me. I want you in all of it, not just the parts that are easy to invite you into. Lord, I have spent too many days walking out into the world and forgetting to bring you with me. Not intentionally, not out of rebellion, but out of busyness, out of habit, out of the kind of rushing that makes it easy to leave the most important thing behind. Today I want to do it differently. Today I want to begin with you instead of turning to you only when something goes wrong. Your word says in Proverbs 3:6 that if I acknowledge you in all my ways, you will direct my paths. All my ways, not just the big decisions, not just the crisis moments, but the ordinary movements of an ordinary day. The way I speak to the first person I see this morning, the way I handle an email that frustrates me, the way I treat someone who has no power to give me anything in return. Let your presence shape all of those moments, because those are the moments that actually form who I am becoming. Father, walk with me into this morning. Let the first hours of this day be set apart by your presence in a way that changes the tone of everything that follows. When my mind starts racing ahead to everything I have to do, bring me back to the present moment where you actually are. You are not in tomorrow's problems. You are not in last week's regrets. You are here, now, in this moment, and I want to stay where you are. Lord, I invite you into my thoughts today. There is so much noise in my mind on most mornings, worries competing for space, to-do lists stacking up, fears about things that may never even happen, and underneath all of it, a kind of low-grade anxiety that has become so familiar I barely notice it anymore. I need you in that space, not to silence everything artificially, but to bring a genuine peace that comes from knowing you are with me and that nothing in this day is outside of your awareness or your care. Your word says in Isaiah 26:3 that you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are stayed on you because they trust in you. I want that peace today, not the kind that depends on everything going smoothly, but the kind that holds steady even when it does not, because it is rooted not in circumstances, but in the unchanging reality of your presence. Help me to keep my mind stayed on you today, to return to that anchor every time the current tries to pull me away from it. Father, I invite you into my relationships today, into every conversation I will have, every interaction, no matter how brief. I want to be someone who carries your presence into rooms, whose words carry weight, because they come from a place of genuine love and not just opinion or emotion. But I cannot do that on my own. Left to myself, I am impatient with the people who slow me down, easily irritated by the ones who frustrate me, and far too quick to speak before I have thought about what I actually want to say. Walk with me into my relationships today. Give me ears that listen before they respond. Give me a tongue that builds up rather than tears down, that tells the truth with kindness rather than using the truth as a weapon. And give me the grace to see the people around me the way you see them, as people with their own hidden weights and their own unseen battles, who deserve more patience than I usually offer them. Lord, I invite you into my work today, into every task I will sit down to, every decision I will have to make, every project that is already behind, and every responsibility that feels too large for the time I have been given. I want my work to be more than a performance or an obligation. I want it to be an offering, something done with care and integrity, because you are watching, not just my employer or my clients or the people around me. Your word says in Colossians 3:23 that whatever I do, I should work at it with all my heart, as working for the Lord. Today I want to actually live that, not rush through tasks to get to the end of the day, but bring genuine attention and effort to what is in front of me, knowing that faithfulness in the small things is its own form of worship. Let my work today honor you, even in the moments where no one else is watching to see whether I cut corners or stay the course. Father, I invite you into my home today, into the relationships that happen inside those walls, which are sometimes the hardest relationships to bring God into, because familiarity breeds its own particular kind of difficulty. The people I live with see me at my worst as often as they see me at my best. They know the gap between who I present to the world and who I actually am when I am tired or stressed or running late. Cover that gap with your grace today. Help me to be as intentional about how I treat the people under my own roof as I am about how I treat everyone else. Lord, where there is tension in my home right now, walk into the middle of it, not to take sides, but to bring a wisdom and a peace that goes beyond what either person is capable of on their own. Let your presence in my home be so real that people feel it when they walk through the door, a settledness, a warmth, a sense that something good is here, and it is not just us. Father, I want to be honest with you about something this morning. Some days I invite you into my day, but I do not actually make room for you in it. I say the prayer, and then I live the day the same way I would have lived it without the prayer, rushing from one thing to the next, handling problems the same way I always handle them, reacting to people the same way I always react, and wondering, at the end of the day, why it didn't feel any different. I don't want that today. I want the invitation I'm making right now to actually change something, to leave a mark on how this day unfolds. So I'm asking you not just to be present, but to be active. Not just to walk beside me quietly while I do everything my own way, but to actually intervene, to slow me down when I need to be slowed, to prompt me when I am about to say something I will regret, to remind me of truth when I am about to agree with a lie, to open my eyes to a moment of beauty or grace that I would normally walk right past. Be active in my day today, not just present. Lord, I invite you into the moments today where I face something I do not know how to handle, the situation that has no clear answer, the conversation I have been dreading because I genuinely do not know how it will go, the decision that has 2 reasonable options and I cannot tell which one is right. In those moments, I do not need wisdom from the internet or the opinion of someone who does not know the full picture. I need yours. Your word says in James 1:5 that you give wisdom generously to those who ask without finding fault. So I am asking, before those moments arrive, I am asking for the wisdom I will need when they do. Father, I also want to invite you into the waiting today, because there are things I have been praying for and trusting you for that have not yet arrived. And some days the waiting makes it hard to feel like you are really walking with me at all. If I am walking with you, I find myself thinking sometimes, then why does the path look like this? Why is this thing still not resolved? This door still not open? This prayer still not answered in the way I asked it to be? I want to be honest about that tension this morning, rather than pretending it is not there. And I want to rest in your answer to it, which I believe is this: the fact that I'm still walking, still praying, still showing up in faith to invite you into another day, even while I am still waiting, is itself evidence that you are with me. Because people who have been abandoned do not keep returning to the one who abandoned them. The returning is itself a sign of the relationship, and you have promised that you will never leave me or forsake me, and that promise does not expire while I am waiting for a different one to be fulfilled. So I keep walking. I keep inviting you. I keep trusting that the God who is walking with me today sees the full path even when I can only see the next step, and that He is leading me somewhere worth going, even when the route looks nothing like what I would have chosen. Lord, I also want to pray for the person watching this who has been walking through something for a very long time without feeling like God was beside them, who has done everything right, prayed every prayer, trusted as hard as they knew how to trust, and still felt alone in it. I want to speak something over that person right now. God was with you in the season you did not feel Him. His presence was not conditional on your awareness of it. He was there in the hospital room when it felt like the ceiling was made of concrete. He was there in the middle of the night when you were crying and felt like no one was listening. He was there in the season of silence that you interpreted as absence. He has never once left you, and He is not starting today. Father, let that truth land deeply in the hearts of people who need it this morning, not as a nice sentiment, but as a real and settled knowing that changes how they face the rest of today. Lord, I invite you into the quiet moments of this day, the small spaces between the noise where I might actually hear your voice if I slow down long enough to listen. The drive alone in the car, the few minutes before someone else wakes up, the brief pause in the middle of an otherwise full day. Let those moments count for something. Let them be genuine encounters with you rather than just silence. I want to leave each one of them slightly more aware of your presence than when I entered them. Father, I invite you into the blessings of today as well, because sometimes I get so focused on the hard things that I forget to invite you into the good ones. The moment of laughter that catches me off guard, the meal that is better than expected, the conversation that goes deeper than it was supposed to, the sunset at the end of the day that stops me for a second if I let it. You are in those moments too, and I want to enjoy them with you rather than just alongside you. Today I choose to walk through this day with my eyes more open than usual, looking for you in the ordinary, expecting you to show up in the unexpected, and trusting that a day walked with you is a day that is never wasted. no matter what it looks like from the outside. Father, I also invite you into the fears that are running quietly in the background of my mind this morning. The ones I have not said out loud to anyone because they sound too small to mention or too big to admit. The fear of not being enough for what this day requires. The fear of a relationship that is quietly unraveling. The fear about money and whether it is going to work out this month. The fear about a health concern I have been trying not to think about too hard. I am not bringing these fears to you as complaints. I am bringing them as an invitation. Come into these places, Lord, not to immediately fix all of them, but to be present in them, because your presence in the middle of fear is what changes fear from a prison into something I can walk through without being destroyed by it. Your word says in Psalm 23 that even when I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, because you are with me. Not if the valley is pleasant. Not when the path is clear and the destination is visible. Even in the valley, even in the shadow, even when I cannot see what is ahead. You are with me there, and that changes everything about what the valley means. Lord, I also invite you into my finances today, not just in a general sense, but specifically into the decisions I will make about money today, the bills that are due, the purchases I am considering, the places where I am tempted to spend what I should save or hold back what I should give. Give me wisdom in every financial moment today, the kind that thinks about tomorrow and not just the immediate feeling. And where there is genuine need, where the numbers genuinely do not add up, and I am trusting you for provision I cannot yet see, let today bring some evidence that you are aware and that you are moving. Not because I deserve it, but because you are a God who provides for his children. Father, I want to close this prayer by inviting you into the version of today that I cannot control, the part that belongs entirely to you. The unexpected phone call, the surprise, the inconvenience that turns out to be a divine appointment, the delay that turns out to be protection, the door that stays closed because something better is being prepared. I invite you into all of that too, the part of today that I cannot plan for or prepare for, trusting that you are sovereign over the parts of my day that are entirely out of my hands. Father, as I close this prayer and step out into this day, I make these declarations. I am not walking into this day alone. God is with me, not watching from a distance, but present in every moment, already in every room before I arrive, already aware of what is coming before I get there. I receive his peace today, not as a feeling I have to manufacture, but as a reality I can rest in, because the God who holds this day in his hands has never once let anyone down who put their trust in him. I will look for him today in the expected and the unexpected, in the easy and the difficult, in the ordinary moments that fill most of the day, and that I usually walk through without paying attention, because he is in all of them, and I want to see him clearly. I will carry his presence with me into every room, every relationship, every responsibility, and every quiet moment, not as a religious performance, but as a genuine awareness of the God who chose to walk with ordinary people through ordinary days and called it something worth doing. I declare that this day belongs to God. My time belongs to him. My words belong to him. My reactions and my choices and my quiet moments and my busiest hours all belong to him, and I surrender them freely, trusting that a day held in his hands is a day nothing can truly ruin. I declare that His blessings are following me into this day, not because I earned them, but because I belong to a God who delights in blessing His children, who takes pleasure in the prosperity of those who serve Him, and who has already prepared good things for this day that I have not yet seen. Thank you, Father, for this day. Thank you for the invitation to bring you into it, and for the even greater reality that you were already here before I asked. Thank you for being a God who walks with people, who did it in the garden, who did it on dusty roads with disciples, who did it in prison cells and wilderness seasons and ordinary kitchens and unremarkable mornings, exactly like this one. Walk with me today, every step, every room, every moment. I would rather go nowhere with you than go anywhere without you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. If you invited God to walk with you today, type "walk with me" in the comments below. Share this prayer with someone who needs to be reminded that they do not have to face this day alone. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next prayer. God bless you, and may every step you take today be one that He is taking right beside you.